Now, Porky, it's been a long time since I've reviewed a game with you, and I find it not very surprising that I'm here reviewing probably the newest nostalgia-driven love child of those scum, LucasArts kind of games made by Ron Gilbert, Thimbleweed Park.
That's right. Where you could easily be mistaken here, but we're not actually old Game Plus. This is current Game Plus. With a new release.
Oz,
just come out.
That makes me the Gerard shit.
In the past week or two. And of course, as you mentioned, from Ron Gilbert, he's the more well-known name. Of course, there's Gary Winnick worked on this and a few others as well. A lot of original creators of Maniac Mansion. But Ron Gilbert, as you mentioned, he's the main guy. He's the one who created the Scum engine.
The two that perhaps carried their brand the best out of it was Tim Schafer and Ron Gilbert.
Yeah.
Maybe Dave at Telltale, but irrespective of that, that's the name that people have put on the box. And I mean, it looks like it is what it is. Like, it looks like it's straight out of that era of Scum games, 2D pixel art. Yeah.
It's a total homage to the adventure games of the late 80s, early 90s, around that era. All those Maniac Mansion, Monkey Island, Indiana Jones, all those sort of things. And it definitely does. It plays just like them. It looks just like them. Of course, it's been modern. It's been vamped up. It's they got a lot of new touches. If you play these games before, you'll see it evolved on the adventure game a little bit. It plays the same, but it's the nice touches, the ways they use audio, the frame rates, things like that.
Because that was always the thing. Like, you know what you're getting into with a point-and-click adventure. There's not so much you can do with that. So it is about making those little bits and pieces in between those kind of presentation items that little bit better. But it does take a lot of swipes at its own genre.
Definitely. There's a lot here for the veterans of the series. New players, I think one of the things I'd say about new players is that a lot of people that turns people off from the adventure games is a lot of the difficulty.
Yeah.
People always think, oh, those tedious adventure games where you're just clicking, you eventually end up clicking everywhere, the pixel hunts, all that. Forget about that. This game's excellently paced, the difficulty's brilliant, but as you mentioned, it definitely aims itself towards an older audience, and that's one of the main things I've taken away from this. Like, personally, I'm a bit biased. I'm a massive Monkey Island fan. Love the series. Monkey Island 2, one of my top 5 favourite games ever.
That's fair.
So for this, I just had absolute delight playing this. It was just reference after nod and just constantly bringing up all these old things.
It doesn't seem like it made them tedious too. Like, they seem like they actually nailed what they were going for.
That's right. There's little mechanics. Some of it's in the gameplay. Some of it's just odd references. There's the little things like a scene and you see the tentacle in the background and there's always things in the background. But there's a lot of really stark references to the point where items you're getting and things you're actually mechanics of the game are complete throwbacks to Monkey Island. And while I love it, the whole time I'm thinking, if people haven't played Monkey Island, if they don't have this history, if they don't know this genre of games, they may struggle a bit here. It's not just in the mechanics, but just a lot of the jokes, a lot of the content.
I guess, it's like walking into a joke halfway through. Like, if you didn't hear the start, well, the ending doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, and so many references, so many items, I must just be wondering, like, if you don't know this is from Monkey Island, you must just think it's completely random.
So, as a result, do you think this is what's going to bring people, like, if this was their first Scum game, do you think they'd enjoy it as much, or should they start back from the old catalogue?
They've nailed it with the difficulty. They've done a really good job. It's got a nice level of hand-holding at the start to introduce you and everything, and eventually later on it blows up into this big-scale adventure where you're controlling multiple characters around multiple different environments. But as I mentioned, the humour, there's so many references. Like, one of the characters' main gimmicks is she's applying for a job at Mucus Phlegm to be an adventure game programmer. Her computer has a C64 card of, I think it's basic for some sort of graphic basic for C64, which was software written by Ron Gilbert for the Commodore. I'm just going off tangent, but basically, like, if you can think of terms like Howard the Duck, Betamax, Laserdiscs, Monkey Island, if these are terms that make sense to you, that you can understand, then you'll probably enjoy Thimbleweed Park. If what I just said is a bunch of gibberish, then maybe not.
Old people.